Good morning everyone and welcome to the $800 Scion. I just finished getting every single disease known to science from that driver's seat, so please subscribe and leave a comment and a like. I do love interacting with the comments. It's probably my favorite part of this and all the money that I don't make. But anyway, we're doing some quality of life improvements. Now that this car is more or less running and driving, now it's time to fix some of the most glaring issues with it. And I don't mean like the bodywork, which is obviously a travesty, but like things that could prevent it from being used as a daily driver. The biggest one of those is this absolutely disgusting nightmare of a front seat. No amount of detailing is going to bring this thing back to life. Just look at it. It's all... it smells so bad. Honestly, the whole interior of this car smells pretty nasty, but we're going to be detailing it later. Right now, I just kind of want to get some things replaced, because bolting parts on and off is a lot easier than actually cleaning. So I had made a few runs to the local junkyard, and I actually went to the local LKQ, and they have 4 Scion TCs of this generation there, and 0 of them had any of these parts. None of them had a driver's seat. None of them had this tail light. Kind of problem. None of them had this trim piece here. Kind of expected that, because this is apparently super common on these cars and it breaks literally all the time because it's just plastic and it's what you pull the hatch up with. And also none of them had a prop rod for the hood for whatever reason. It just didn't exist on any of the cars at LKQ. So I did a little bit of digging, and if we come over here to the parts carrier, a very nice condition blue OEM Scion TC seat. TC seat. Anyway, nice, good condition, not torn, not super worn out, bolsters in good shape, a little dirty, but not bad. For $90, I'll take it. And it was local, so I didn't have to pay for shipping or anything, which is always a bonus. And then up here we have, I think this was $40. Taillight, nice and clear. This was like a C+ condition, they said, but you know, that looks really, really nice. Also, they found me this prop rod. I don't know what they charged me for that. Oh, yes I do. I have the receipt right here. $20. Unfortunately, they didn't have the little grommet where it goes into the bodywork, so I ordered like a 20 pack of those for $10 more off of Amazon. All in all, a good deal, because I see these selling on eBay for like $60 all in plus shipping. Made out of gold, apparently. My gosh, for not much more than that, you can buy like a gas strut conversion kit. Anyway, let's throw some parts at this car, and when my wife gets home, we'll bleed the clutch, because right now it engages like right off the floor, like a ½ inch, and it's terrible. And I'm hoping that's just air in the line or something, but, oh, right, one more thing. I haven't looked at it yet, but it's a new trunk trim panel piece. It doesn't fit in frame very well. There we go. Just trust me, it's in here, I think. Okie dokie, so here is our nice new plastic piece. I didn't buy a new badge because I thought these were just kind of like pinned in place like the one on the front of my BMW. Nope, all adhesive. So I don't know, maybe I could try siliconing that on there, or maybe I'll just leave that off until I get a nice shiny one, because honestly that is... Actually, that's all adhesive. That might clean up, but at any rate, you can see kind of what happens here. If we look at the back of this, there's these 4 tabs here that these studs just slip into. I need more hands for this, but they stick in there. That bolts it to the car, and then when you push on the release button here and lift up, all the weight of the hatch, whatever isn't being taken up by the struts at least, because I've noticed there's a lot of stiction here. Like, it kind of glues itself to this seal, so I'm probably going to get some Shinetsu grease and lube up this seal to kind of help with it sticking in the closed position, and hopefully that'll prevent this from happening again quite as fast at least. But yeah, that's what holds it, and then these just break off or snap off or whatever. That used to be there, and then it broke off. Looks like I didn't get any new nuts, but I do have new studs, so I saved the nuts from these so I can reuse those. And then what we also have is the button. I don't quite get how the button came out of here. I ended up just kind of disassembling this whole thing. This is the actual button piece that goes like this, and it's kind of a soft rubber thing, and it actuates this little micro switch. I didn't want to unplug it and pull it out, because then I wouldn't be able to open the hatch anymore. There's no physical release on the outside. I think there's an internal physical release, in here, but with my back the way it is, I didn't want to crawl through the hatch, so I just kind of disassemble all this. So we're going to reassemble that by just kind of feeding it through the hole and then putting it all back together, and I'll try and show that, but it's going to be tough. I really don't have enough hands for this. I'm just going to pass all this through the hole in the mounting plate, and then pop the switch back into the little plastic rubber thingy. There we go. There's this little cover that I sort of destroyed when I took it off, but it looks like it snaps right back on just fine. And then that whole assembly pops right into my finished panel like that, and 2 Phillips head screws help lock it in. I haven't had a chance to buy paint yet. This will be getting painted, just not today. Like I said, this is about functionality more than it is about looks, and this is a very functional piece on this car. So let's just get these screws back in, and I'll grab some tools. Okay, I pushed the studs in and tied that in place, so now this whole thing there we go. It's almost like it's on or something, except now we get to go in here. There's a couple little panels that just pop off. It's a weird dichotomy of Toyotas. They make some stuff like this, or like light bulbs, super easy with pop-off panels, but then doing a clutch is the worst job ever. So now we just go in here, and there's no way I'll be able to film this, but I just gotta thread those little 10mm nuts onto the studs and tighten them down. I use a flex head with a deep socket for that, and yeah, I just get them on with my fingers most of the way and then tighten them down the last little bit with that. Fairly straightforward. It works. Now I'm just going to rub a little bit of this wonderful Shinetsu grease on these seals here after, actually I need to go get a cloth to clean them off with, and that should keep it from gluing itself to the rubber when it sits for a long time. It looks like the sealing's, the actual surface that it seals against is fairly clean, but there we go. One job done. Little bit of residue, but like I said, we're going to detail this car later, and that makes all the difference to keeping the seals healthy and long living. Like I said, that is Shinetsu grease. It's actually a Honda part number, which might be on here somewhere. I don't know. G3W0M, maybe that's something. It's absolutely fantastic. I already did this on the sunroof seals, and fun fact about the sunroof, I turned the car on, opened the sunroof, and then tried to close it. Don't do that. Turn the car on and then calibrate the sunroof. So push and hold back until it goes all the way back and stops, and then hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and then go all the way shut immediately. Do not stop. Do not do anything else, or it will get miscalibrated and won't shut properly. It took me a hot minute to figure that out because I had to go unhook the battery for a few minutes to let it reset and relearn. So let's just, oh yeah, that's the stuff there. Gosh, I love these liftbacks. That's so cool. Next up on the list is this light. Definitely not the most glaring cosmetic issue with this car, but it's kind of a safety concern, sort of, and, you know, something that someone looking for a cheap beater would probably place higher on their priority list than some ugly paint, because, you know, who knows how expensive that is. Answer, not very expensive. $40, and it appears to attach with some sort of fasteners. Looks like 10mm, just like we already used. These are 10s, right? Yes, 10s. Okay, so let's see. Little panel, pop it off. Has sound deadening on the back, which is actually a really nice touch. And let's see here. Yeah, they're just right there. Oop. That is set to tighten. This is called Don't Drop the Nut into the Fender. There we go. So, what, 3 of those and out it comes? Easy. There we go. I think this is supposed to be done with the rear bumper off, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, it's got these little things that just kind of hook into the bottom of the bumper here, but turns out if you just wiggle it hard enough, it's almost the same thing. I don't know what sort of shape the bulbs are in on the new one, but might as well just change them. So I'll just swap all these out. Has my finger exploded yet? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I think it's still good. So do a flippity flop with the bulbs and in she goes. Fine, Toyota, you win. Phillips head screw. Phillips head screw. Phillips head slash like 12 millimeter, and then pull this way, and all this comes off. And then that simply slides in. And there's a little locating pin here that slides into the back of the tail lights. So now that will all line up. And yeah, literally one hand, and it's in. And then the bumper goes back. Maybe put the little bolt back in. And we're golden, or in this case, red with purple. There's a burgundy. I don't know. What color do you think these are? They're kind of the same, aren't they? Okay, like 5 seconds with two hands and I got it back on. But there's the screws there. And then there is one here. And then there's like 1, 2 more underneath on each side. But as you can see by the ground, I'm not getting on the ground. That was good enough. So now we just reinstall these 3 bolts. And then there's this little thing that slides over that stud and hides this nut. Sorry, nuts, not bolts. That just goes over it. Took me forever to figure out that was there. And by forever, I mean like 5 seconds. But it felt like an eternity. Oh yeah, and then we just plug it back in. Something like that. There it is. Bring a 10 millimeter wrench to get to that one up there. Other than that, there we go. Nice. Cool. It's pretty much things here in the back done. Now I know I said I'm not going to detail the car till later, but my wife needs to sit in this seat in order to bleed the clutch, and I don't want her to have to sit in that. Since I don't have an extension cord long enough to reach all the way around this yacht of a Nissan, which I think actually weighs less than the TC, I don't know. I'm just going to bring this in here, and we're going to give it a quick vacuum and some spit shine, just to make it less of a waste hazard. Though, on the plus side, it smells a hell of a lot better. Is it clean? No. Is it good enough for some people? Yes, including my low standards. Jesus, why? Oh, that hurts my soul. Click on ads so I can afford the Milwaukee cordless vacuum cleaner thing. Ooh, money. 41 cents. Yeah, that'll pay for a detail. Here on 100% Jake, we don't half-ass things, we quarter-ass them. 2 cables that go to the seat, and 5 bolts actually. There's one that goes in the side there. Pretty straightforward. I have no idea what those cables do. Some cars have SRS airbag, which means there will also be another yellow cable. This car does not have that. That seat has it though, interestingly, even though it was listed as a non-SRS seat. But I'll just leave that unplugged since I have nowhere to plug it in. I just cut the wiring harness off the old car at the junkyard. Okay. In! What size are these bolts? The answer is 14. That is a massive improvement. I didn't realize how much that old seat was collapsed. This is actually properly comfortable. Okay, we're losing light. Let's move on to the front. The interior doesn't smell anymore. There's a little faint sense of something, but that was all the seat. Wow! Cool. I'm not going to have to get this thing fumigated. Alright, now for the most difficult. Was that a gunshot? That sounded more like a firework. Now for by far the most difficult part of this. Okay, there we go. As you can see, missing the bushing that goes in there, but those are on the way. But hey, look at that. Now the hood holds itself open. So now hopefully I can get at this guy here. Looks like that's an 8. And we can bleed that thar clutch line. Actually, it looks like it's pretty much going its full travel, so we'll see if there's anything in the line here. Brake fluid reservoir is way over full, though, and has the stupidest cap I've ever seen. Let's see when the clutch engages now. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's like 2 inches off the floor now instead of like a ½ inch. It still seems low, but I'll take it. So, oh man, this thing just runs great. Super smooth idle. I think it could probably use a tune-up, but there's not a lot to say here. It just sort of works. Yep, good car. Hopefully now I can get this windshield replaced and get a new tire on that left rear corner, and this thing will be ready to hit the highway. And then we'll see what else is wrong with it. Thanks for watching.